Matchmaking in Japan. How good is it? My name is Stephen Frost. I am the founder of Marriage Matching here in Osaka, Japan. And realistically, matchmaking in Japan is extremely worthwhile. Now, there are a number of reasons for this, a host of different benefits, and there is a tradition which has basically brought it to where it is now. The tradition with matchmaking in Japan started with Omiai, which began around the 16th century, where Nakoudo were helping those in more noble families, samurai classes, to find partners for their children, effectively uniting houses, bringing alliances together. And over time, it is something which has evolved and it's spread out across the rest of society. A lot of this came because people wanted to mimic the upper classes, and so all of those things that people were seeing that the samurai classes were doing with Omiai, it started to proliferate lower and lower down the chain in terms of the class system as it was back in the 16th century. Obviously, this has come forth to the point where Omiai is just a part of life in Japan now. Granted, a lot of people do still find partners through school when they're growing up, all of the usual activities that you would expect. But for a lot of people, when it comes to finding a partner somewhat later in life, I mean, this is talking about into the 20s, 30s, 40s and beyond, it becomes very challenging due to issues of trust. And this is where matchmaking becomes very, very important. Because trust is such a big thing in Japan, realistically, if someone wants to meet someone, go on a date, find a partner, they need to have introductions. There needs to be an established point of trust. Actually, just meeting someone randomly in a cafe or a bar or some other place, it's not something that's going to work out very well because there is a lack of perception around how trustworthy that person is. And as a result, when people are meeting, they need to have a mutual connection, someone whom they both know, so they can have that context within their mind that, yes, okay, because you know them and I know them and I trust them, therefore I can trust you. That's where that comes from. Because of the way that modern Japan is now, a lot of people move around with work, especially after university or especially after high school, finding jobs in other towns and cities, and they lose their social network. They lose that chance to actually have introductions. And because workplace romances are a no-no, it then falls to finding someone outside of work to be a partner. Now, for a lot of people, they do meet potential partners through social circles, provided they've still got some connection with people that they used to know. But for a lot of people, especially when they're more introverted or they're more shy, it becomes a big challenge. As it is, there's a government-run survey that indicates that 7 out of 10 people have zero idea about how to actually find a partner in Japan. Again, this brings us back to the use of matchmakers, traditional Japanese matchmakers here in Japan. It just makes life easier. Now, granted, when you're going through the Omiai process, there is a lot that is taken into account. There are all the background checks, there are all the advice, various other benefits of working with a matchmaker, but it does come at a cost. And this is something that can be quite a challenge, especially for a lot of younger people or people who are on lower incomes in Japan. And so there are a lot of people that use dating apps and matchmaking apps as a result. As it is, dating apps account for around about 25% of marriages in Japan in the last couple of years. Granted, again, within that will be the apps that are used by matchmaking and marriage agencies. So it's not just pure distinct dating apps just run on their own. It's also the apps run by the matchmakers, run by the marriage agencies themselves that are helping clients through matchmaking activities. Omiai themselves, very structured introductions. Once someone has been through the consultations, the background checks, they've registered with a matchmaker or a marriage agency, they'll go through the Omiai and they will use that to find people. And it's a very relaxed way now. It used to be a lot more formal. Now it's very relaxed. Generally, it's afternoon tea, something very, very conservative, very traditional along traditional Japanese values, where people can meet, they can talk, effectively a bit like a blind date. And that is their chance to find someone in a very trustworthy, reliable manner that makes it easier to then work out whether that person is going to be suitable as a partner and suitable for marriage. Traditions, like I mentioned, this dates back to the 16th century. Obviously, back then it was more about creating alliances and uniting houses. Now it is very much about finding love matches and making sure that people are going to become stable partners for their entire life. So matchmaking has evolved within Japan, basically in line with a shifting focus more to creating love matches and people actually being with the right person, being with their true love, being with their soulmate if that's the right thing for them. Technology has had a big impact on matchmaking over the years, and especially now, more usage of databases, the integration of AI as far as possible to help with matchmaking duties. Obviously, within the layers of work that a matchmaker does, a traditional Japanese matchmaker that is, there is a lot that goes on within the thought process, and actually mimicking that in terms of coding and then obviously the processing power and the memory that's required for an AI to do that kind of thing. Those kind of functionalities are yet to be realized. Obviously, they are still being worked on. Japanese government and various federations are working on that level of functionality. Yet for the time being, traditional matchmakers, people actually doing the role of matchmaking, that's going to be around for a long time as yet because it is such an in-depth thing to be doing. That said, matchmakers are greatly benefited by working within federations, working alongside a host of other agencies with a group membership, and being able to use technology to search through databases to find a grouping of potential matches which they can then refine down more quickly and more easily using their own skill and expertise. Other things come through with how cross-cultural matching is done as well. It's very limited in Japan, and this is based on the fact that while English is the second language here, there are very few people that speak English fluently, let alone any other language. However, there are a few agencies, marriage matching, marriage agency especially, that does cross-cultural matching. So yes, it is possible to work with an agency that will do cross-cultural matchmaking. If you're looking for a Japanese wife or a Japanese husband, it is completely a thing. Obviously, at Marriage Matching, we do work worldwide. We've got clients across 6 different continents. We do a lot of introductions. We do a lot of consultations also via Zoom when we're meeting people, and then basically we spend time getting to know people. Cross-cultural or domestic, all of the same things apply. Doing the consultations, doing the background checks. It's relatively easy to get to know someone through a good video call. It is nice to meet in person, but definitely video calls will actually bring enough information, especially for a matchmaker, to actually understand what the person is looking for and how they can actually assist them best and actually find the right person for them to marry. So, matchmaking in Japan, how good is it? It is exceptionally good. It has blended with modern technology. It is incorporating old traditions and finding a synergy between them, which enables people to actually connect with that right partner for life, with that right partner for marriage, much more easily and much more quickly than they could based off their own efforts in the majority of cases. There are a bunch of other benefits to actually using a traditional Japanese matchmaker. It removes a lot of the issues that people have around self-esteem, people being unsure about what to do, how to progress things in relationships, and at what stage to move things forward. Matchmakers are there to help people, and they provide advice, they provide all those kind of benefits. At Marriage Matching, we're continually in contact with clients, helping them to understand what kind of motion would actually be useful for their relationship, helping them with things around communication as it arises, because stuff can get lost in nuance at times. So there's a number of different things where matchmakers provide an additional benefit beyond actually just finding that initial partner in the first place. So, matchmaking in Japan, how good is it? Provided you choose the right agency to work with, it is exceptionally good and can help people find the right partner for life, the right partner for marriage in a very timely manner. So, my name again is Stephen Frost. I'm the founder of Marriage Matching here in Osaka, Japan. This has been a video about matchmaking in Japan, and realistically, if you're looking to find a partner, then matchmaking in Japan, especially if you're looking for a Japanese partner, that is, matchmaking in Japan is an extremely good option to take. Thank you.